Hi guys, Leeanne here. Um, the topic of my conceptual framework is improving students' analytical confidence and competence in secondary ELA discussions. I would like to perform an action research study in order to contribute more formal academic research study to the existing body of informal research on the Article of the Week program, which was created by Kelly Gallagher. It is my hope that applying self-regulated learning strategies to a modified Article of the Week program will result in an increase in student self-efficacy and ability to participate in class discussions. Additionally, the anticipated results may present secondary ELA teachers with an effective practice to integrate civic education into an ELA classroom and increase students' autonomy to critically read and discuss text. Personally, I hope to increase student engagement and produce confident and capable citizens. Practically, I hope to integrate the analysis and discussion of informational text into our classroom routine. And intellectually, I'm interested in effective discussion strategies, how I can encourage my students to become interested in reading and discussing text, both in my class and beyond it, and also what skills my students need to develop before they graduate and become citizens. In my research, a few topics came up. The first is self efficacy, which is essentially students' confidence in their abilities. And that goes hand in hand to me with self regulated learning strategies because I am hoping using self regulated learning strategies can improve students' self efficacy. I'm also interested in critical literacy, or this idea of disrupting and challenging and analyzing deeply text. And that kind of goes hand in hand with civic education, which is something I discovered. As far as instructional strategies, I researched informational reading as well as discussion strategies. Theoretically, I'm obviously working from a critical theory and pedagogy framework as I am asking students to become critically literate citizens and, in particular, to analyze closely different types of media or text. I'm also working from the sociocultural theoretical framework because I'm interested in not only how do my students in learning not only how they just develop or they come to their own meanings, but how are they interacting with their peers in order to form that sense of meaning. And lastly, I'm also acknowledging the multiliteracy theory, which is essentially expanding the definition of what constitutes a text worthy of study and discussion. My big problem is that we are seeing more and more students that are graduating high school and they are lacking critical thinking and analysis skills, especially in the post COVID world. We are seeing students that are struggling with their confidence in those skills, especially their willingness to discuss topics. Um, so, what I'm hoping to do is to rectify that situation. And my question is how can scaffolded and consistent practice of critical literacy and self regulated learning strategies impact students' perceived and demonstrated competence in analyzing and discussing text? I will bring a transformative worldview to this research. I value the transformative worldview for its acknowledgement of social justice issues, which I feel speaks directly to my study's focus on developing critical media literacy. As far as backyard research, this will take place at the school I currently teach at, and I'm going to use multiple different methods of sampling so that I can get the most diverse and representative group possible. And then this is an image of my proposed evolving conceptual framework, and this is specifically the action research study. I'm planning on using an atlas to code and analyze my data, and I've come up with a proposed analysis framework that I intend to use that is informed by Maxwell and Cresswell. In conclusion, I shifted my focus away from literary theory to critical media literacy, and although both topics are forms of critical theory, critical media literacy speaks directly to students' ability to read and analyze media, whereas literary theory limited them more to studying literature. I feel more confident in my choice to perform an action research study, which aligns with my transforming worldview as well. Um, I think that analyzing media will engage students in civic education, which has traditionally been taught in social studies classrooms rather than ELA, but there is a lot of research about the potential for ELA to have civic education. And then lastly, something that I've kind of learned throughout this is that I updated my methodology to focus more on qualitative rather than a mixed method study, which I feel is going to help me focus and hone in more on the data collection methods that I'm going to use. And that is my study. Thank you guys.